Today, we're jumping right into the incredibly complex and honestly kind of chaotic world of electronic components. We're going to look at a key player that helps keep our global supply chains from falling apart, Midway Electronics. Let's see how they get it done. If you work in manufacturing, this screen probably gives you a bit of a headache. I mean, component shortages, costs that go through the roof, a supply chain that feels like it could snap at any moment. It's enough to bring everything to a grinding halt. So how do the big players manage to navigate this minefield? Well, they don't go it alone. They find an expert guide. So let's start at the beginning and introduce who exactly Midway Electronics is and where they came from. So Midway was founded back in 2013 in Hong Kong, and they really cut their teeth in one of the toughest arenas out there, automotive electronics. Think about it. The standards are incredibly high. That deep, hard-won experience became the launchpad for them to branch out into industrial control, communications, and other key fields. They've been in the trenches for over a decade now. Okay, so how do they actually tackle all those challenges we just talked about? Well, it all comes down to this really smart dual-focus strategy, one that's built for both long-term reliability and short-term speed. Their entire business really breaks down into two core jobs. On one hand, you can think of them as your long-haul partner, the one making sure you have a steady, stable supply of materials for massive production runs. But on the other hand, they're also the emergency responders, the team you call when a critical component just vanishes and you need a solution, like yesterday. Having both of those capabilities under one roof is a huge deal. Now, having a great strategy is one thing, but you've got to have the parts to back it up. And this is where their role as a one-stop component shop comes into play, with a product line that is seriously comprehensive. And I mean, the sheer breadth of what they offer is massive. We're talking about everything from super complex integrated circuits and specialized automotive semiconductors, all the way to essential basics like diodes and relays. What this really means for their clients is that they don't have to juggle a dozen different suppliers. They can get pretty much everything they need from one place. Okay, next up is what might just be their biggest strategic weapon, their dual presence in Hong Kong and Shanghai. Now, this isn't just about having two offices on a map. It's about how they've structured them to create a ton of value for their clients. Let's really dig into this dual hub model, because it's kind of the engine that powers their whole operation. It's what gives them their global reach while also letting them operate seamlessly inside mainland China. And the roles are crystal clear. You've got the Hong Kong office, which acts as the global gateway. It handles all the international sourcing, global trade, and grabbing components from the spot market. Then you have the Shanghai office, which is laser-focused on mainland China, handling local sales, customer service, and crucially, RMB invoicing. And here's the absolute key to their China operations. This wholly owned subsidiary, Shanghai Lito Electronics. Now, that's not just a name. It's the legal engine that lets them do business in the local currency and issue local invoices. For any company that operates in China, you know this solves a massive compliance and financial headache. It's a total game changer. So who actually relies on this model? Well, their track record is really proven by the partnerships they've built with some of the biggest names in the most demanding industries. Midway is deeply, deeply embedded in the automotive supply chain, an industry where there is absolutely zero room for error. They are a critical partner for both Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers, the companies that build the core systems inside the cars we drive every day. And here are just a few of those heavy hitters: Visteon, Aptiv, and ZF. These aren't just clients. These are global titans in automotive technology. When companies of this caliber are your partners, it speaks volumes about your reliability and your expertise. So if you look at their overall focus, you can see that automotive electronics, things like infotainment systems and instrument clusters, is clearly their stronghold. But they've also got a really significant footprint in industrial control and communications. It shows they have deep expertise in one area, but they're also smartly diversified. All right, let's bring this all together. What is the core value that Midway actually delivers? This is what takes them from being just another supplier to being a true strategic sourcing partner. It really boils down to three critical things. First, they optimize your costs by using their massive global network to find the best possible combinations of materials. Second, they respond with incredible speed when things go sideways. And third, they ensure long-term reliability by keeping the supply chain flowing and offering smart suggestions for alternative components. It's the holy trinity of supply chain management: cost, speed, and reliability. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote comes directly from their own mission statement: to provide cost-effective, swift, and reliable sourcing solutions. It really confirms that this is exactly what they are built to do, day in and day out. Ultimately, it's all about finding that perfect balance. Anybody can find cheap parts that'll take forever to arrive, or super expensive parts you can get tomorrow. The real art is finding that optimal point that balances cost, delivery, and risk. And that, right there, is Midway's core expertise. And that leaves us with a final question for anyone working in this space to think about. In today's crazy volatile world, is your supply chain a vulnerability just waiting to cause a crisis? Or is it a finely tuned machine that actually gives you a competitive advantage? Because having the right partner can make all the difference.
Midway Electronics.